Now we are going to talk about the operations on determinant. The operations on determinants. So the first operation we are going to talk about is the multiplication of determinant. The multiplication of determinants. So let's suppose we have two determinants that are a, b, c, d and x, y, z, w. So how do we multiply these two determinants? So the rule for multiplication of determinants is that we take the rows of the first determinant one by one and then we multiply the corresponding elements of the row to the corresponding elements of the column in the next determinant. So let's talk about the multiplication here. So what I need to say is that first we take this row of the first determinant, then we multiply the corresponding elements of the row to the corresponding elements of the column in the second determinant. So for the first row first column element we take first row and first column. So the summation comes up to be a into x plus b z. For this element we take the first row and second column, we get ay plus bw. For this row, the second row first column, we get cx plus dz. For this element we take the second row and the second column, we get cy plus dw. So this multiplication is a lot like the multiplication we learned in matrices, but here we do not need to check about the orders and all, because the orders will be same as they all are square matrices. Whenever we take a determinant, we only take the square matrices, so we do not need to worry about the order here. We can directly use the method we learned in matrices as well. The method is same here. So basically we use this method for multiplication of determinants as well as matrices. Now let's talk about some more operations on determinants. The next operation is differentiation of determinants. So what do we mean here? Let's suppose we have a determinant d which is equal to a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h, I. So if we need, let's suppose this is a function of r. That means that suppose that all the elements are a function of r. So now if we need to find the determinant of this with respect to r, that is, if we need to find the d dash r, what do? One way is we can simply evaluate the value of the determinant. We can open up the determinant by using the same method we learned earlier, taking a row, then taking all the elements one by one and multiplying them by their cofactors, then adding all the values we got together. One way is that, and then after we get the value, we get the equation, expanded equation of this determinant, then we take the derivative with respect to r. But there is a shortcut in which we can find the value of the derivative without the need of expanding. If we have to expand, then what is the use of making the determinants here? The main use of determinants will be if we can directly find the derivative without expanding the determinant. So to directly find the derivative, we have a formula, that is d dash r equal to, first we take derivative of the first row or first column as you like, derivative of the first row leaving the second and third rows as it is. So this becomes equal to a dash r, b dash r, c dash r, dr, er, fr, gr, hr, ir. So what have we done here? We have just taken the determinants of all the values present in first row and left all the elements present in the second and third row as it is. To this, we add the determinant in which we take the derivatives of the elements present in second row, leaving the first and third row as it is. So, in this determinant, we have AR, BR, CR, D dash R, E dash R, F dash R, leaving the third row as it is, GR, HR, IR. Now again, to both of these determinants, we add the determinant containing the first and second rows as it is, and having the third row with the elements having their derivatives. We take the derivative of all the elements present in the third row, leaving the first and second row as it is. So we get AR, BR, CR, DR, ER, FR, G dash R, H dash R, I dash R. So basically, to find the derivative of a determinant, what we do is we take the rows one by one. We take the derivative of one row, leaving the other rows as it is. Then we take the derivative of the next row, leaving the other rows as it is. Likewise, we take the derivatives of all the rows one by one and then adding all the determinants we got. That's how we find the derivative of a determinant without expanding the determinant. There is no need to expand the determinant. There's this way to find the derivative without expanding. Let's talk about the next operation. The last operation is the summation of determinants. So what do we mean by summation of determinants? By this, we mean to say that first of all, we need to have a determinant which is a function of a variable. That is, let's say it is x. So let's suppose that we have a determinant that has a variable function x. Suppose the x varies from 1 to n. Now we want to find the summation of the dx's which we get when x changes from 1 to n one by one. So here we need to find the determinant when x is 1 plus determinant when x is 2 till this determinant is when x is n. So again, our main aim is we need to find this without expanding the determinant. We can do this by expanding the determinant also, but it will take us a lot of time. So our aim is to find a way in which we can do the summation without having to expand the determinant. So the way is that, let's say we had a determinant of that is dependent on variable x, and let's say it is a that is variable on x, b, c, d that is dependent on x, e, f, g that is dependent on x, h, I. So in this determinant, all the elements in the first column are dependent on x, but all the elements in the second and third column are independent of x, i.e. they are constants that do not vary with the x. So suppose if we want to find the summation of x that changes from 1 to n, what will it be equal to? It will be equal to the summation of the functions which are varying, where x varies in the same way as it varies here. leaving all the constant terms as it is. So basically what have we done here? When we wanted to find the summation of x when x varies from 1 to n, we simply took the summation of all the elements which varied on x, and the summation was from the same value as it was on the determinant. So here the x is changing from 1 to n, so it is in all summations it is changing from 1 to n. If there were more elements where x was changing, then we would have taken the summation over there as well. So let's take some examples to understand this better. So let's say we have an example. We have a determinant that is dependent on, that contains a, that i.e. that it has some elements which are dependent on a. So let's say it has elements a minus 1, a minus 1 square, a minus 1 cube, n, 2n square, 3n cube, 6, 4n minus 2, and 3n square minus 3n. Let's suppose we want to find this. In the question we are given that we need to find the summation of this determinant where a varies from 1 to n. So do we need to expand this determinant and directly apply the summation formula on each and every term? Yeah, we can do that, but it would take us a lot of time, and there would be no use of determinants in that. We need to reduce our time, and so for that we need to have the solution in the form of determinants only. So just now we learned a formula of how to find out the summation of determinants. Applying that, we can simply change this determinant to summation a varies from 1 to n, a minus 1, summation a varies from 1 to n, a minus 1 squared, summation a varies from 1 to n, a minus 1 cubed, and the constant terms which are independent of a remain as it is: n, 2n square, 3n cube, 6, 4n minus 2, 3n square minus 3n. Applying the summation formulas, we can get, for normal summation of simple natural numbers, the formula for this type of summation is summation of x equal to 1 to n of x is x plus 1 by 2. Here x has been replaced by a minus 1. So replacing a minus 1 here, we can get a minus 1 into a by 2. The summation of x equal to 1 to n of x square is x plus 1, 2x plus 1 by 6. Replacing x by a minus 1, we can get a minus 1 a 2a minus 1 by 6. Similarly, this is the formula for x equal to 1 to n. A summation of x cube is x plus 1 by 2 whole squared. Replacing x by a minus 1, we get a minus 1 a by 2 whole squared. So the constant terms remain as it is: n, 2n square, 3n cube, 6, 4n minus 2, 3n square minus 3n. So rewriting this, so in this determinant, first let's say we divide this column by 6. So what do we get? We take 6 common from the third column. So what do we get? Taking 6 out, we get a minus 1 a by 2 n 1 sorry, while finding out the summation, we needed to replace a by n here as it was in the formulas. So this is actually n, not a over here. So n minus 1 n n n n n n. So basically it is n minus 1 n by 2 n and 1 n minus 1 n 2n minus 1 6 2n 2n square n minus 1 n by 2 whole squared 3n cube. Here we get 2n minus 1 by 3 and here we get n square minus n by 2. Now dividing the column 1 by n minus 1 n into n by 2, we get 6 n minus 1 n by 2. Taking this common from C1, we get 1 n 1 2n minus 1 by 3 2n square 2n minus 1 by 3 n square minus n by 2 3n cube n square minus n by 2. So do you see something here in this determinant? Yeah, we can easily see that column 1 and column 3 are equal. Now we know a property that if all the corresponding elements of any two rows or two columns are same, the value of the determinant is 0. Or we can also apply the property that applying C1 minus C3, what will we get? We will get the value of the determinant being 0 0 0 n 2n square 3n cube 1 2n minus 1 by 3 n square minus n by 2. So there is a column in this determinant which has all the values being equal to 0. So the value of this determinant is 0. So basically we have found the summation coming up to be 0. So can you see, after applying the summations and taking some things common, we directly got a form of determinant in which two columns were same. Now if we would have expanded and then applied summation, it would have taken triple the time it has taken now. So solving in the form of determinants only, it saves us a lot of time here. That's why we use a determinants in a lot of cases.